I'm Old Head Ed.
And I'm Mr. Belief. And we like to welcome y'all to Barcodes. Barcodes is a podcast where we delve into the lyrics of your favorite MCs, verse by verse.
Each episode, we invite an artist onto the show,
Break down their own bars, and give the listeners a deeper understanding of the meaning and inspiration behind their music.
from underground up-and-comers to established industry veterans.
We cover it all. So join us as we explore the art of MCing and the stories behind the bars on Barcodes.
Barcodes.
Barcodes in the building.
Back at it again.
Yup.
I am Old Head Ed.
It's your boy Belief.
Yes, sir. And you know how we do. Barcodes is the podcast where we take the time, sit down, and get into it line for line with an artist with a verse of their choosing. And yeah, man, they give us a tremendous amount of insight as to what goes into writing a verse, what they were thinking when they put it together, and kind of what inspired the song line for line. And yeah, man, this time, like last time,
Like last time,
like any other time, we got some ill lyricists on this podcast, and I'm glad to be part of it. This is no different than the last one.
we got a wolf in the building.
Yes,
if you will.
yes.
It's your boy Art Morera in the building, in the flesh,
Yes,
making an
sir.
appearance, man. What's going on, man? How you been?
I've been well.
That's good. That's good
Glad
to hear.
hear. Yes,
How you been?
I'm maintaining.
How you been?
All is well on this end, man. I'm looking for. I'm excited. I know we had a moment to sit down and chop it up with you before on off the last verse you did you blessed us with, and that was very intriguing. I think one of the things we didn't touch on, we might not have discussed enough, and I know we've said this on Bruce Beats and He's the podcast, where it's a lot of people live vicariously through your music, being that your music is well traveled, meaning that we get to travel and experience things with your experiences.
Yeah, man. Last episode, I felt like I was in Alaska, man.
Yeah.
Working at a salmon thing, man. Like straight up, like it was very descriptive.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
even to this day.
He's like, I'm sorry about
minus the cigarettes and the dogs, the mud scavenging on fish parts.
Yeah.
But I know Mowgli said it time and time again, not to dwell too much on the last joint. But Mowgli's, last time we chilled, or I got a chance to sit down with you guys and build. Mowgli was just blown away by the fact that it's like, how do you tell a fish's story? And you make me feel like, oh, damn it, I'm hearing from this fish with fish eyes. So,
that was a
shiny
dope song.
eyes,
Shiny
eyes,
Shiny
yeah,
eyes,
yeah.
dope song.
So,
Yeah.
man, no, so
That was tough.
which it makes you the perfect candidate for this,
Okay.
because if you're capable of kind of putting together, weaving a story
Yeah.
with just your observation, and your knowledge of how fish act in the wild, and then your experiences, and then put together something where the listener's sitting there going, damn, that's a sad existence for that fish. You know what I'm saying?
That was me like trying to empathize. It was my imagination. You feel me? Like it was I'm here like, man, what could this little guy's life had been like? Like you see the gash, you're like, man, that was probably from a bear or something, or damn, this you could tell this one had a hard life. You had a good life, buddy. As it like,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're referencing the song "Shiny Eyes" that's on Knack Knack.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just so the audience is aware, it's a great song. You check out the video on YouTube as well.
Yeah, hey,
It's
shout
really
out
good.
to James with Feld Studios for blessing me with that music video. That was an awesome experience.
Definitely a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are you blessing us with today? Like what song are we diving into today?
Okay. Word. Yeah, I figured let's go through. It's one of my favorite songs that I've done. When You Fall.
When You Fall.
Off the
Yes.
Hereafter.
Off of Hereafter. That's right.
Okay.
Great album, by the way.
Thank you.
Great
man.
album.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm really proud of that album. But like, the album cover is it's just like all black, and I'm walking through a doorway. Mm-hmm. And that could be interpreted like, am I walking into the darkness or out of the darkness? Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I was definitely in a dark place when I wrote that one. Like quite
It was
literally.
good. The cover was very how do I say, like this how you said like you could be going in or out of the darkness. It was like metaphoric in a sense. Once you just look at the cover, it's just your silhouette in a small doorway.
Yeah.
And then the majority of it was like darkness.
And it's like the third installment to my I call it my trilogy. It's like Murder Mountain, Death Valley, and Hereafter, you know? And and that's and this is the last song, the one we're about to go into. It's When You Fall, which was I wrote it after watching Dead Poets Society from Robin Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So you had just watched that movie
And I was like, wow, it brought me to tears. I was like, and I started writing. It's crazy, super.
so that goes into my question.
But,
so so obviously you do remember when and where
Yeah.
you were at and what inspired you to write this. So obviously what inspired you was the Dead Poets Society movie, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it just resonated with me because of where I was at. You know, I love Robin Williams. He's like one of my favorite actors. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a poet. You know, and I feel like I discuss like mortality a lot of my music. It's like I'm a living artist dropping like posthumous albums. You know, and so When You Fall, like the song starts with that Robin Williams when he says, "Keep ripping, gentlemen," when he tells them to rip the books out of the
Pages out of the
rule book.
Uh-huh.
Like rip them pages out of that rule book. Like, but in hip hop, like when you rip it, you know, like you rip a verse.
Okay.
Man, he ripped it. So I was like, "Keep ripping, gentlemen," and the beat drops and shit. Yeah. So anyway, so on the second verse, you guys want to get into it?
Let's do that.
All right, bet. So like it goes, yeah. So lighthouses on foggy nights, I'm counting on you to guide us out the storm. No olive branches in the talons of pirate falcons. Like
that's where it gets. Yeah, that's where I'm starting to go. Okay, my mind starts trying to piece all that together.
I love that line, by the way. Yeah. I love that line because it's like no olive. From what my take on it is like there's no peace treaties in these talons of a pirate falcon. You know what I'm saying? Like because olive branches is a form of a peace of peace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And land too.
Yeah.
Like if you let the bird off and it comes back with a branch, that means it found land.
Oh, I see it. I didn't catch that.
It's like oh, you brought something that lets us know that land is nearby.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
How did you?
It's painting. No. I mean, I'm.
Like, y'all let me know what.
No, but that's the beautiful part about it. That's what you know. That's what these bars in general or poetry, when it signifies that it's great, is because it has so multiple meanings to other people's perspectives. Like when I look at this, like the first thing I did when I heard no olive branches in the talons of pirate falcons. Right. Now I couldn't really depict on what the pirate falcons, because I don't know much about pirate falcons. I just know that they're a bird of prey, right? And they have talons, so they're dangerous to small animals or whatever its prey is. But no olive branches, meaning like there's no peace.
There's no peace treaties. Right?
There's no peace treaties through this. That's what I got up, because you know, like, oh, I'm extending an olive branches is like kind of like, yo, I'm trying to make peace here.
Right. I'm trying to extend to connect.
And then you kind of drop the bombshell when you're like, no, but it's also.
Well, it's a sign of land.
Well, I mean, it's both.
Okay.
Well, I don't mean to boast, but damn if I don't brag.
No, and that's where it kind of took me for a trip, where we're like, the first line you're saying, lighthouses, where we were discussing about the purpose of it is to let you know that signifies that you are going to be coming into a surf or a beach or some type of land. Right. So now, the fact that if the pirate's falcon comes back with no olive branches in his talons means like there's not land there.
Like think about it like this, right? Like because it's about where I'm at, right? Like I'm looking for hope to continue, right? And no matter how many olive branches I hope to be sent out my way,
you're not
or
finding
any
them.
signs of hope, right? Any signs of a place where I can land, right? You feel that hopelessness when you're without that. So it's like searching for that. It's just that hope.
Yeah, like it symbolizes.
I know I said
like,
it twice. I was trying to explain it a different way a second time, but
it symbolizes like you're sending out your falcons to find land, and like your falcon symbolizes hope in a sense, like you're searching for hope, and then when it comes back, it's coming out empty-handed.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Actually,
or empty talons.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's roll into the next one.
So then I go from there. I'm like, no olive branches in the talons of pirate falcons. There's still deeper trenches and higher mountains and drier deserts to inspire entire albums.
Oh, ooh.
Okay.
See, this one directly. If you're somebody that follows your music, and a fan of your music,
Yeah.
people would definitely understand that bar, right? Because it's like you are an adventurer, voyager, MC that
Yes.
depicts your life in sort of like a biographical manner inside of your album. So when you go to certain places, and you tend to go to these like dangerous places in a sense, like, you know, Death Valley is a dangerous place to be,
Right. So up in the mountains in North California, Red Mountain.
And you create these albums, and when you listen to these albums, it depicts everything that goes on in your life during that time. So it's kind of a time stamp or a time capsule in every one of your albums. So when you hear this line where it says in drier deserts, like there's more places out there to inspire entire albums.
Yeah, like there's still more world, there's still more pins to put on the globe, you know, like this album, my catalog, I don't want this to be the last entry.
Yeah.
But it feels like it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Because my van wasn't working at the time. I can't drive anywhere to go on an adventure. And then that's when I get the call from my cousin, yo, so Alaska. Right? So I'm like, damn, right?
Yes.
Adventure found you.
Right. So that's that lyric. To inspire the entire albums, the fire went out because it was too windy. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, like nature was too strong for my little campfire tonight. You know, you feel me? Like I'm overwhelmed by the elements. Too much wear and tear on my spirit. Fire went out because it was too windy. It's all downhill like there's a rolling stone behind you when you windy.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. There's a couple things happening there. There's a couple of things happening there.
Unpack that. We gotta get like an unpack that.
Yeah. The voice, the sound bite.
Absolutely, I would love to. So it's like it's all downhill, right? When there's a rolling stone behind you, when you indie, like when you're independent and you have a machine behind you or you have a publication behind you to promote you, it's easy, you know? But in Indiana Jones, he's running downhill and there's a rolling stone behind him.
Yeah.
And he's indie.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You know?
Oh, shit.
And there's more to it.
That's a bar right there. I didn't even catch the catch the tie-in on indie until you
the Rolling Stone. Yeah, there's a big old boulder when he snatches the artifact from the pedestal and
the switcheroo.
Yeah, and then he thought he got it. Next thing you know, he's got to run away from a boulder. So that's the Rolling Stone.
Right.
Boom. And it doesn't stop there because then your next line is
and you know, you just made me think of another layer too, because it gets harder when you switch up.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. The moment you bring some change, things can get a lot more difficult.
You're setting off traps, you know? That's what's pretty cool. It's cool. It's cool when the annotation has a bar in it as well.
Yeah. yeah.
But all right, so it's all downhill like there's a rolling stone behind you when you windy. Done keeping up with the Joneses. All I own's this. Everlasting loneliness. Holy shit.
It's kind of like a self-realization of like right there when you said holy shit.
Yeah, everlasting loneliness. It's just, you know, maybe it's just the way some people like myself are just wired, you know, like you could be in a room full of people and still feel that loneliness, you know.
It happens. I mean, like, you're not, you know.
And I'm not alone in that. That's the irony.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful irony in there. You know, but and you feel like that. You feel that inadequacy in your life trajectory when you try to keep up with the Joneses that have the magazines behind them. Like, damn, I'm trying to keep up with you, which realistically, it's healthy too, because you challenge yourself. To be able to, like, okay, if you're like you go up against prime Mike Tyson, you're gonna still try to win, knowing that the odds are against you.
Yeah.
You feel me? So anyway, so done keeping up with the Joneses,
which is also goes back to Indiana Jones, the Joneses. All I owns this. Yeah.
All I own is this. Everlasting loneliness. Holy shit. Going into the void is unavoidable. I love this next part. Going into the void is unavoidable, like a goldfish getting flushed down a toilet bowl. Right?
Yeah.
And I love that it's like, I love when you find perfect rhymes and find a way to like braid them together beautifully. Like when MCs do that, I'm like, man, he got that. You know, like like it's like watching someone land a trick shot on the pool table. Like I'm just happy for them that they landed it, right?
Or a gymnast that sticks the landing.
Like, man, good for you.
Yeah, when it fits all perfectly. It's,
And you know
it's one of the beautiful things about riding the bars. You know what I mean,
Bro, and what's wild is like I actually had to do that when I was working in Wynwood. They had some goldfish there, and they were like, "We got to get rid of this goldfish," and I'm like, "Throw them in the lake or something." They're like, "Nah, just flush it," and I flushed 2 fish down a bowl, man. Larry and Jerry.
Oh, man. Shout out to Larry and Jerry.
I don't know if that's what their names was, but
right now they're full of shit, bro. They're out there eating a bunch of shit.
God bless them,
No,
bro.
it's
I hope they grew
somebody's-
to this big. You know, you ever seen a big goldfish?
Yeah, they actually changed color, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
They're no longer gold.
So like a goldfish getting flushed down a toilet bowl.
Memento.
In a voice memo, she said, "Boy, let's go. What's a couple roadblocks to a voyage, though? You know, like little current obstacles that's holding you back is not the end of your story. It's just a little roadblock, but you're on a voyage. You know, this
becomes part of the story,
it becomes
especially
part of the
when
story.
you get past that roadblock.
Yeah, it makes a story good.
Now the memento in a voice memo, she said, "Boy, let's go."
Yeah.
Right away, my mind goes to memento, which is just a reminder, a note. You know,
Yeah.
in this instance, it was in the form of a voice message. But memento, you can't help but think momentum. And if what the message she's leaving you is, "Boy, let's go," which is kind of like
Pick up
giving you
momentum.
a momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like a reminder, like, hey, come on. You know, your little Jiminy Cricket in your head, you know? Memento in a voice memo. She said, "Boy, let's go. What's a couple roadblocks to a voyage, though?" And then, this next part, I know you're going to. So I go, gentle to robots, because soon they'll be sentient. Sentiments while I'm MCing on my requiems, right? But the sentient part, you already know, bro.
Yeah.
And like, I was talking on the Discord with Sage the 33rd.
Shouts.
Yeah, shout out to Sage the 33rd, and we were just expounding on that. On like, artificial intelligence, like the Animatrix. I don't know if you've seen the Animatrix.
Yeah.
It was good for a while, you know, and so, bro, like, be gentle to robots.
Man, Chat GBT.
Because soon they'll
We
be
cool,
sentient.
man. We cool. Just letting you know, I know you hearing me, and we cool.
And I just feel like, you know, maybe during that time, like, I felt like I was not going to be here much longer. And it's the dawn of like robots as well, and the whole thing with the metaverse, and I'm just thinking about like where consciousness goes to, you know. So anyway, so that's that bar, and then sentiments while I'm MCing on my requiems. It's like memoirs that I leave behind. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
sentiments while I'm MCing on my requiems.
Y'all be lying.
Y'all be lying in the studio like MGM, crying wolf, right? Like, it's kind of like a play on there because
MGM is actually a lion, but that roars.
yeah, y'all be
But-
lying in the studio,
Yeah.
like MGM, crying wolf, which is lying, right? But I'm saying sentiments,
Which is still
and I'm a
applies
wolf.
to the lion in the MGM.
It's like
Right.
a triple entendre in
Yeah.
that one line. Yeah.
Is it a triple?
Well, I don't know.
Might be dope. I know you
Because
hit a couple of them.
said,
in
you
there.
said lion, lion like MGM, and then you were like, okay, I guess I would say it.
I think the crying wolf is a part where it's like I dry my eyes in the shade of a giant oak. Like, I just, yeah. Sometimes you gotta let it out, dog. You know? And I'd rather be a crying wolf than cry wolf. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Now, one of the things I like to ask, like, whenever you feel like in a moment, like for instance, like how you just said, sometimes you gotta let it out. I completely relate to that. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. Now, do you ever feel a sense of relief after you put it on a record? Because
So-
I know I do. I don't know if
It's like-
it's mutual.
It's like there's there's a juxtaposition because you feel the release when it's on a record, but now the record exists, which is forever latched onto you.
Yeah.
So it's like a moment of like transparency while you allow yourself to forgive yourself and move on.
Yeah.
You know? And I find myself doing that a lot with my music, especially lately, where I'll write songs that are like, you know, they just feel like, hey, like, I don't know what the future holds, but just know that I'm happy to have met you type shit, you know, like.
Yeah.
And so that's the vibe that I was on here. And it's crazy because it's inspired by Dead Poet Society. And like, eventually that's what's going to be here with Miami hip hop, like 50 years from now. Like,
yeah. We're all going to be memories. You know what I'm saying?
And all that's going to be left is our music, you know, and
ChatGPT.
I guess everybody's TikToks and shit too and whatever. But
along with the memories, then that ties us into the next line, which is in the spirit. Like, we're no longer here, but the spirit lives within.
Oh no, I think we jumped one. My dying oath is to live.
I love that.
Oh yeah,
part.
my bad. Yes, because right, you're right.
Yeah. No, I had fun writing that part. That was like crying wolf, because this is the thing, right? Look, like the trick is to try to keep the rhyme going while. Like, you know how blacksmiths, they bend metal, they weld metal. Like, we're wordsmiths. Yeah. So we bend and connect words like they were tangible and malleable, right? So I'm here like, okay, I'm gonna rhyme. Okay, crying wolf, giant oak, like my dying oath.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, damn, it's like, okay, cool. The continuation, there's more there. And there's sometimes, I know you relate to this, like, yo, like you'll think of some rhymes that you scrap that rhyme. And like, okay, I'm glad that I thought about this perfect rhyme, but it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So I'm going to leave this perfect rhyme over there, and maybe I'll
utilize it somewhere else.
Sometimes a song that I'm currently writing, I'm like, oh, I kind of rhymed that in this other song. Let me see what else I can find.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like I try to find unique rhymes that aren't repeated. That's a personal challenge. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like every time Eminem rhymes Jason Mask or something, it's like a reoccurring word early on. Or Tupac with Enemy and Hennessy's. It's kind of like this repeating, reoccurring. I try to stay away from that, even though it's okay if you stick to that.
Yeah.
My dying oath is to live till I'm a ghost in the spirit of those who never put a price on their souls. Right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm trying to live my life with integrity in the spirit of those that also maybe had to sacrifice their life because they wouldn't put a price on their souls, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, put a price on their souls. Riding to the rattles of playing cards, colliding with the spokes on the tires of old bicycles. And then you hear the Griselda in the background, but it's like the card on the spokes.
Yeah,
if you're, I mean, probably the generation below, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's more of our generation back when we were growing up as kids, where we'll jump on a bike and then we'll throw the baseball cards or the baseball cards or the playing cards, and it'll be a bike. A lot of like, you know, like younger people are not going to really relate to that shit.
It was a noisemaker, something, yeah.
And to me, like the quote unquote punchline of that is like the ad lib. I had like when I thought of that, I was like, what am I gonna put in this space here between the bars, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, and it was just like a cool way to
tie that together, but with
that.
another audio with an audio sound that's not part of the verse, but it fits it because you had that sound effect of what.
Yeah, it's like changing the context of a popular ad lib.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it fits. But bicycles. What is it? Spinning like kaleidoscopes. Like the tires, right?
Yeah.
Spinning like kaleidoscopes. Bang my head against the wall. That's a dice roll. Which I mean, I don't know. I have my own interpretation of that, but that's open for interpretation. No, no
people
worries.
could roll head crack. I mean, I don't know, when they roll dice.
Yeah, they say head crack.
Head crack. So that, I mean,
that's what I thought it would. That's what I thought you were referring to as well.
All right, bet. Okay.
He's like, yeah, we could keep that one.
We'll just go with that. We'll
go with that one.
All right, head crack. I like that.
Yeah.
I was allegedly unaware of that.
Allegedly. Okay. There you go. So
Yeah.
that's
Now,
so,
are we right on that or no?
So you banging your head against the wall. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, in the context that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
you banging your head against the wall. It's, you know, the head is the key. And in my eyes or my listening ears, my tuned in, it's where you're rolling your head crack. That's banging your head against the wall. That's a dice roll.
And also like the phrase, you know, oh, you're banging your head against the wall. It's like you're trying to solve a problem that you haven't yet.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like in doing that, like you're spending more and more time on something that hasn't currently worked for you yet, which is a gamble in itself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Not knowing what the outcome's gonna be.
right. So
True.
you know, you're banging your head against the wall. That's a dice roll. Thinking of rhymes with my eyes closed, like picking locks. Ironic how walking on thin ice thickens the plot. If I slip and drop, and the chorus says, "Leave on the lights, babe. I'm so scared of heights, babe. It hurts so hard when you fall." Awesome sample. Yeah, that was a good one. Like,
Oh, by the way, he produces all of his joints at the same time. He's also the producer.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
We forgot to mention that.
It's okay. I'm not really like. I'm like, yeah, I make the beats, but so my main focus is the rhymes. Like the beats just facilitate a way for me to songwrite, but it kind of became like just a part of the whole gig, you know. Like
Yeah.
I love making the beats that I rhyme on, and sometimes the sample of the beat, the chorus, like if there's a vocal sample, it's almost like a language arts teacher assigning you what to write about.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
because when she said, like on the first verse, right? It's like, and if the sun happens to die, leave on the lights, babe, because the sun's the light, right?
Yeah.
And if the sun happens to die, leave on the lights. So if I slip and drop, like you're knocked out, like lights out. Yeah. Leave on the lights, babe. And then, ironic how walking on thin ice thickens the plot. Like, I mean, that's definitely a obscure line, one of my more obscure ones, because on my documentary series on Some Miles Back, right, when my van breaks down in Arizona, and it's like ice outside, snow and ice outside, and you know there's a shot of me like slipping on thin ice, you know, and, like my foot breaks through the ice, and it just made the story good. But there's a metaphor in there too, like, you know, you walking on thin ice thickens the plot, you know, thin, thick.
Yeah, because if God forbid, if on an actual body of water, if there's an ice cap, it's real thin, you slip on it, you could crack the surface of it, and you end up in a worse situation, meaning thicken the plot.
And then
slip
and then the audience goes,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And,
That moment of
Yeah.
And like I like to play with like opposites, you know, like thin ice, walking on thin ice,
Thick.
thickens the plot. Like another example is like, like I never walked on water, but I ran in the snow. Like, you feel me? Like,
Okay.
like little
Yeah.
opposite
Correct.
associations.
Yeah,
You know
it's water in two separate states,
Bro.
and there's two separate actions between walking and running.
but it's the same concept.
Yes,
Yeah.
but correct. You're still traveling, you're still moving.
technically you're still walking on water because it's it's
Right.
frozen water.
Yeah, so I like to. It's like when John F. Kennedy was like, "Oh, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." He like flipped it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, bars.
that practice, was really interesting because it challenges ideas. You know what I mean? And like no emotion, right? No emotion on safe money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On safe money, when he's like buying something with my ID, that what do you say? He's like, oh, buying something with my driver's license that prevents me from driving.
I don't think that was on Save Money.
No, I think it was, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I know. On that verse, he also says, "Never forget, even $100 bill will change up."
Yeah, that one was
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
on there.
And that's
Yeah.
a good example of like
Yeah.
the opposite
Yeah.
of the same idea. It's like two sides of the same coin. So
Yeah.
but yeah, man, you know, yeah, that's it. That's When You Fall. Second
Fall.
verse.
Shit.
Off the
Round of applause to that one, then, because that one was like
you gotta get
that
it with
was
the round of applause.
there you go.
Hereafter, When You Fall, go check the whole catalog out, man. Bandcamp, definitely. I'm gonna implore everybody to get over to the Bandcamp. Follow Art Morera. That's where your contributions mainly go to the artist.
And also, not for nothing, but like if you don't buy music or buy merchandise, which is that's cool too, I guess. But subscribe to my YouTube so I can, because that way that, you know, when I come out with these visuals that I work a lot, really hard on, like No Emotion helped me film that When You Fall video. Like,
oh shit,
like
okay.
He helped me film that video. So shouts out to him for that.
Yes,
appreciate
indeed.
you, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Y'all know what it is. The Wolves in the building. Art Morera. We got another episode of Barcodes in. Y'all stay tuned. There's more to come. Beliefs on the other end. I am Old Head Ed. And, man, we can't say anything, but thank you so much for sitting down and talking it up with
Appreciate
us.
it, man.
Appreciate you guys,
Yes.
man. Y'all subscribe to Barcodes podcast. He had, you know, lots of cool stuff in the works with these guys. Round of applause for these two gentlemen.
Yeah. And we appreciate y'all for subscribing, yo. Peace.
There you are. You're there. Yeah. Lighthouses on foggy nights. I'm counting on you to guide us out the storm. No olive branches in the talons of pirate falcons. There's still deeper trenches and higher mountains and drier deserts to inspire entire albums. The fire went out cause it was too windy. It's all downhill like there's a rolling stone behind you when you windy. Done keeping up with the Joneses. All I own's this everlasting loneliness. Holy shit, going into the void is unavoidable. Like a goldfish getting flushed down the toilet bowl. Memento in a voice memo. She said, boy, let's go. What's a couple roadblocks to a voyage though? Gentle to robots, cause soon they'll be sentient sentiments while I'm MCing on my requiems. Y'all be lying in the studio like MGM. Crying wolf, I dry my eyes in the shade of a giant oak. My dying oath is to live till I'm a ghost in the spirit of those who never put a price on their souls. Riding to the rattles of playing cards, colliding with the spokes of the tires of old bicycles. Spinning like kaleidoscopes, bang my head against the wall, that's a dice roll. Thinking of rhymes with my eyes closed, like picking locks. Ironic how walking on thin ice thickens the plot if I slip and drop.
Leave on a light speed. I'm so scared of height speed. It hurts so hard when